Recorded Books and One Click Digital present The Unreal and the Real, selected stories of Ursula K. Guin, Volume 1, Where on Earth, narrated by Tandy Cronyn, and directed by Angel Morality Dotson.
Introduction. Choosing and dividing. I begged people, editors, friends, third cousins once removed, to help me select stories for this collection, but nobody would. So all the credit for good choices and all the blame for bad ones is mine. If something you rightfully expected to find here isn't here, I'm sorry. I had to leave out a lot of stories because I've written a lot of them. The first way I found to reduce the mob to a manageable size was limit it to short stories. No novellas, even though the novella is my favorite story form, a lovely length, in which you can do just about what a novel does without using all those words. But each novella would crowd out 3, 4, 5 short stories. So they all had to be shut out, tearfully. There were still way too many stories, so I had to make arbitrary restrictions. I mostly avoided stories closely tied to novels set on Guin or Narrator, etc., and stories forming an integral part of story suites where the pieces are linked by characters, setting, and chronology, forming an almost novelistic whole. But May's Lion is closely tied to Always Coming Home, and 3 of the stories from Orsinian Tales form a loose, many-decade sort of suite. Oh well. Consistency is a virtue until it gets annoying. So there I was with enough stories still to make a book about the size of the shorter Oxford Dictionary. I therefore developed extremely scientific and methodical criteria for my choices. The first criterion was, do I like the story? The answer was almost invariably yes, so it wasn't much of a criterion. I refined it to, do I really like the story a lot? That worked better. It resulted in a very large pile of stories I liked a lot. I then exercised the next criterion. How well would this story work with all the others? Which was very difficult to put into operation, but did eliminate some. And by then a further principle of selection had appeared as a question. Should I put a story in this collection because I think it's been overshadowed, has received less attention than it maybe deserved? That's a tricky call. Luck, fashion, literary awards, and other uncontrollable factors play a part in when and whether a story gets noticed. The only near certainty is that the more often...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?